let me tell you how, this is one example of how the foundation helped an artist, okay? And this was a young man who was born without one ear. And he had many operations trying to help his hearing. And he met my aunt, Flavino, and she helped him with operations and had specialists come in who taught him how to read lips so he could communicate. And he did beautiful artwork. His name was James Little. But that's, you know, there are many ways to help people, and that's one of them. One of the ways Annica's helping people and Indian artists is by her book, because people can read about it and learn about American Indian art. And the thing about art, I think you should all know, is if it makes you smile, it's nice.
Did you have fun making this book?
Yeah, I actually, looking back, I had a lot of fun. I met some really interesting people, and I learned so much, and it was just such a fantastic experience. But there were definitely times when I was like, oh my gosh, I want this done, because I was working on it for about 2.5 years, which is a really long time. But in the end, I definitely think that it was just a fantastic experience, and I couldn't imagine my life without it.
Do you have any Indian friends?
I actually have a few. Also, I started a youth summit, which is basically sort of an event that brings together Native American teens and non-Native teens such as myself, because I realized that there's a lot of misconceptions about Indians. Like, people think things about them that aren't necessarily true. And through that event and the planning for it, I've actually met some really cool Indians, and I've become friends with quite a few too. I didn't take all the pictures because there are some vintage pictures in the book, which are basically pictures taken in black and white from like years ago that I got from a museum. And all the pictures of the jewelry I took at Faust Gallery. And Bill Faust, Bill Faust's son, was really supportive about the book, and he basically just let me go in the gallery and take pictures of all this fabulous artwork, and he'd help me, he'd let me use his camera. He was just so fantastic. And he also arranged meetings with different Native American artists, so I got to talk to people such as Cheyenne Harris, which was a fantastic experience. And other than that, I took most of the pictures on reservations or tribal land. And through Bill Faust, I met Bill Faust Sr. Through the Lavina Old Foundation, and that's how I was able to give my book away. I started writing the book in Microsoft Word, which basically means I started just kind of doing a very rough layout. And through a lot of work and trial and error, I finally, got it in an acceptable format. My mom helped a lot with the book design and the layout, because there's no way I could have done that by myself. And after it was all done, which took a really long time, then we had it self-published, which means we didn't go to a big publishing house, because since we wanted to give it away, we wanted all the money we raised to go directly to giving books away. And if you go to a publishing house, they take a cut, which means that they take a certain amount of the money from the sales and it goes back to them. So to avoid that, we had it self-published, which means we basically just went to a printer right here in Arizona, and they printed it for us and made it into a beautiful book. This is my favorite page. It's basically just different pottery. This is one of my favorite pots. It's by Charles Lolema. And what I love about this page is it shows all different types of pottery. And I also like that this is actually tribal land in the background, so the pictures are over a picture of tribal land. I thought that was really cool.
There are some new artists, potters, that are making pots with American Indian cartoon characters on them. What do you think about that? And they're fun. They make you laugh. In their own way, they're similar to Superman, or they're heroes that are fighting the good fight. And they are fun.
I had a few questions from Miss Myers' 4th grade class at Constitution Elementary School. I just wanted to address a few of these. One of the questions is, where did you get the jewelry, and can I have some of the jewelry? I actually don't own any Native American jewelry. I just kind of borrow it from Faust Gallery or the Heard Museum for events like this. How do you know about the Navajo Code Talkers? Did you go all around Arizona? Yes, I did travel all over Arizona. I didn't even realize how big of a state Arizona was until I was driving through it. And I knew about the Navajo Code Talkers just from school. I learned about them a little in school. And I talked to some Hopi Code Talker, some descendants of Hopi Code Talkers. And they explained to me that the Hopi Code Talkers also served.
How did you get the idea of writing the book?
Well, basically, I started to write my own little book as a project in the 4th grade. And I never had the intention of publishing it or giving it away or anything like that. But it was just sort of a fun little project that my mom made me do because I was homeschooled at the time. And then a few years ago I found it and I said, hey, maybe we should do something with this. So I started researching and I started talking to different people, and eventually this came out of it. And also it was my community service project because in the Jewish religion, I'm Jewish, you have to do a community service project when you turn 13. 13? Yeah. And my community service project was I was going to write this book and give it away.